Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to the theater. Hey everyone, this is Scott, and on today's itinerary, we are going to Broadway. What is Broadway? Ask a bunch of different people, you'll get a bunch of different answers. Is it a street, a neighborhood, or an exclusive club for the biggest shows in the world? Actually, yeah, it's sort of all three. So, welcome to Broadway 101, where I provide a visitor's guide to understanding the theater district, getting the best tickets, and planning the perfect Broadway trip. Let's start with what Broadway physically is. First, it is a literal street, the massive thoroughfare cutting diagonally right across Manhattan. That is the first definition. But secondly, it's also a neighborhood, essentially the heart of Times Square and the surrounding theater district. But when people talk about seeing a Broadway show, they're referring to the third meaning, the highest professional tier in American theater. To officially qualify as a Broadway venue, a theater has to meet strict rules. It must have 500 seats or more, be located within the designated New York City Theater District, hire union talent under Actors' Equity contracts, and be eligible for the Tony Awards. Right now, there are exactly 41 official Broadway houses. Think of it sort of like Hollywood. Broadway is your major studio blockbuster produced by Disney or Warner Brothers. Massive budgets, huge stars, and wide commercial reach. So, what about everything else? You may hear other terms bandied about, and I'm here to define them for you. Off-Broadway isn't a location. That term is about scale. These are theaters with 100 to 499 seats. Think of these like acclaimed indie films. Smaller budgets, but incredible creative freedom and prestige. In fact, mega hits often start out at places like the Public Theater, which is technically an off-Broadway venue. Off-Off-Broadway. That's another term you may hear, and that means the venue has fewer than 100 seats. This is the experimental fringe, the micro-budget short films, and student projects, perhaps, of the theater world. Additionally, there are national tours that take Broadway productions on the road across the country. Think of that sort of as a streaming or video release after the initial theatrical run. And don't forget that there's regional theater, which has high-quality professional venues outside New York, and community theater. That's pure passion, local, non-professional volunteers putting on shows for the love of the craft. That's like student films or hell, YouTubers. But now, if you're planning your first trip to New York City, how do you actually score tickets without breaking the bank? Well, you've got 5 main options. Obviously, official ticket sites like Telecharge or Ticketmaster. Those are usually linked, available on the show's particular webpage, and those are best for planning ahead and securing exact seats from official sources. If you want to make sure you're seeing a specific show and you're planning a trip well in advance and you want to make sure you've got a seat, this is your best bet. It's a sure thing. It guarantees you'll be in that seat for that show the night that you're in town. Now, if you're a little more flexible, there are plenty of other options as well. There's the TKTS Booth under the red steps in Times Square. That's ideal for same-day discounts between 20 and 50% off. Those essentially are last-minute tickets the shows are looking to unload to fill the room. Next, there's digital lotteries. These are apps offering dynamic $10 to $40 seats if you get lucky. These were created as a way to democratize theater going so that not just the wealthy elite were able to attend, but younger folks, perhaps people who are a little more budget conscious, this gives them an opportunity to see some of the top shows as well. And lastly, rush tickets. If you head directly to the theater at the box office, you can often get pretty good deals as well if there's a certain show you know you want to see. The TKTS booth is great if you're open to whatever, but if you know you want a certain show, you can show up at the box office the day of and try your luck. And lastly, it's also worth considering the standing room option, the absolute cheapest way into a sold-out blockbuster. Think shows like Hamilton or Wicked or The Book of Mormon, which have been incredibly popular over the years. Provided you don't mind standing for 2.5 hours, that can be a decent way to get into the room. Now, depending what day of the week you're in town, it's also worth noting what theaters are dark and when. Timing your trip is crucial. Most Broadway shows run 8 performances a week, but the golden rule is that Mondays are typically dark. Depending on the show, it may be another day of the week, like Tuesday, but at the start of the week, it's a general rule that most theaters will be closed. The classic schedule runs Tuesday through Sunday, with a couple 2-show days, matinees in the afternoon on Wednesdays or Saturdays around 2 p.m. And it's also worth noting, Sundays, the shows are usually somewhere in the late afternoon, but again, shows can vary, and it depends which production you're seeing. If you want the best value, I would target Tuesday through Thursday evenings. They're less crowded and often cheaper than peak Friday and Saturday nights. Weekend matinees are the most popular for families. And one final insider tip. Keep an eye on Tony season. Nominations drop in late April, leading up to the main Tony Awards ceremony in early June. A lot of shows look for nominations to get a push for their box office before deciding whether or not to continue or close. April gets packed with brand new openings pushing for cutoff deadlines, and after the awards air in June, winning shows see massive demand spikes. So if you're visiting in late spring or summer, book your must-see shows well in advance. To wrap it all up, remember these golden first-timer rules. Arrive at least 30 minutes before curtain to clear security and get through lines. I'd recommend eating before the show. Aim to finish lunch around 45 minutes ahead for matinees. And the beauty of theater, especially in New York City and London, theater is for everybody. But it's also worthy of respect. So if you feel like wearing polished, casual clothing, there's no strict dress code. So come as you are. But if you feel like dressing up, then definitely do that as well. And always double check the calendar. Understudies can't step in, and holiday schedules shift. But no doubt you'll have an awesome performance either way. Do you have a favorite show you're dying to see? Drop it in the comments, let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I will see you all at the theater, and until next time, happy travels, team.